In this live stream, I'll show you how to batch move Joomla articles that are mixed in with other Joomla articles that you don't want to move. And we're talking about moving them from one category to another. Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. Thanks for tuning in to this Watch Me Work live stream. Number 22, I believe it is, because I already did the thumbnail for 23, which is next week. We'll talk about that in a second. Anyways, let's head on over to the screen and let's start talking about this. Now, here, if you're watching this live on Twitch, what you want to do, if you want to ask a question or comment, is go ahead and follow this channel, and then you have to wait 10 minutes. Then you'll be able to chat. And if you're watching this replay Encore Performance on the YouTube channel, then please do subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and leave a comment below about what you like about the video, maybe anything you learned from this, or how any ideas that you would get. As you can see, here's the basic joomla.com/giveaways page. Head into there for go and enter for this month's giveaway. All the prizes you'll see there. Today I'll highlight my joomla.com, just an awesome tool I use all the time for managing my Joomla sites. In fact, yesterday I found one of my client sites that had a really hinky user profile somehow signed up on it. So I immediately went to myjoomla.com and ran a security audit. So just to make sure that nothing had happened there. All right, so here's the case that we're dealing with. Hey, Chuck, good to see you. On this site here, this is one of my clients, faithcommunitychurch.ca. And what they have here is a resource area. And they have sub-menus for children, Bible studies, sermons, and they also have Christmas sermons and archive sermons. What I noticed when I clicked on resources, when I was just working on their site and working on some things for them, when I click on sermons, was that the sermons that they have here are like, not these first three, but these articles, they were from like 2015. Even though they've been updating practically every week, putting new articles, new sermons online, and I could not figure out why. Then I went in and realized that they had, instead of signing their new sermon articles, new articles with sermons in them, to resources, subcategory sermons, I'm about to sneeze. They had actually, instead of assigning new sermons to the sermons subcategory, everything had just been saved to resources, and just a mistake and a habit that they got into. And being a church, they probably the role probably changed from one volunteer to another, and maybe this wasn't explained or demonstrated, or stuff happens. Anyway, so the challenge here now is to find all of the sermon files that are in resources. And if we look here, let's go in the top right corner here. We will count, let's display 100 at a time. And now we'll go into search tools here, and let's just display only those that are in the category resources. Now, one of the things that we want to do here too is only look at a certain level, because there are subcategories in resources, and we're not concerned with seeing those, the articles that are assigned to that. So we'll just go over here to select max levels, and we only want to see the top level, so only things that are assigned to the resources category. So we have here, we see only things assigned to resources. We're seeing 100, and down at the bottom, so we're dealing with approximately 200 100 and however many is going to show up on this next click, files to sort through. Now, we could just go ahead and select all these articles and use the batch tool that's core to Joomla. But the thing is that there are some articles, or maybe some articles inside of the resources category, the top level, that need to stay there, that aren't assigned to a subcategory. And if we just grab everything and move it over to sermons, then we're going to mess things up. So what to do? What we are going to use is from Regular Labs, DB Replacer. Now, even before I change screens, if you don't have a backup of your website, back it up right now, because you can really mess things up by accident with this extension, with DB Replacer. It is perhaps one of the most dangerous Joomla extensions out there for the ability to break your site, mess it up, and do things. And it makes sense because it's one of the most powerful tools. Because what DB Replacer does, and let me go there, DB Replacer. What it does is it gives you direct access to your database to find and replace things and to make changes or to delete them. It's crazy. And so you want to make sure that you have a backup. And I have in the description of the video on YouTube anyways, down below, a link to a playlist on how to back up your Joomla site, especially using Akiba. So what we are going to do here is we are going to search for something inside the articles. We are going to replace something, and the power of what we're doing right now is we're going to use this where we're going to use some filters up here. The first thing that we need to do is figure out category IDs, because what we're going to do, why don't I just open up that tab there again? What we're going to do is we're going to look for articles that have something key in them that only the sermon articles have, and then we're going to, in any of those articles that have that, we're going to replace the category ID for resources and with the category ID for resources sermons category. Now I'll show you right now. Here we go. Let's click on categories. And here we will see, here are resources, the resources category. And as we go over, its ID is 52. Let me just zoom in on that a little bit. All right, its ID is 52. Now we want to write that down. So let me just grab my notebook here and write that down. 52. I'm going to just put old is 52. And what we want to next do is find out the category ID for the sermons subfolder. And that is right underneath, because it's showing sorting by order here. We can see these dots are black, so we see the order of those categories, and that is 35. All right. So let's say new is 35. So what we want to do next is take that information, let me just make this the normal size here, is to take that information and we will go back to DB Replacer, and we are going over here, see where it says columns, SEC content, sorry. These are the columns inside the content table. So up here we have selected the content table. That's where articles are stored. You can go into any table in your Joomla site to do switching things around like this. So anyways, we're in content by default. And we're going to see, here's things where your title is, and alias, and intro text, and full text, state, blah, 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 blah. We get down to cat ID. And in the category ID field, what we're going to do is we're going to search for articles that are assigned to category 52. All right. Now, if I were to just hit Control-0 to make this small again, and then we search, now we see there's 181 articles that are assigned to the category number 52, which we know is resources. And we want to what we want to be doing is moving articles from that, changing their assignment to category 52 to 35. So in Replacer, what we're doing here is we're basically right now, although we're not going to do any replacing yet, we are in the content table. We are looking at the column category ID, and we're looking in there to see any that have 52. And if it finds 52, we're setting this up to replace with 35. But we're not going to do that yet because there's one more important step, and that's the power behind this. That allows us to hunt and peck. All right. So, anyways, let's just we'll go ahead and search. The results will be the same as the last search with 52, but we'll see as we scroll down here and then slide across, we come to a column that has some color, and it shows there's category ID 52 is found, 35 will be replaced. And we can see they sort of veiled some of the information. For instance, the title, Junior Church, the Heart of a Great Church, and just various things there. Now, again, if we were to go replace, we would change all articles in the resources category in this case, and we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to set a filter that looks in each article for something specific and unique to the sermons articles, and then we will be able to only replace those. So let's go back to our list of articles here. There we are. We have categories. And then, let's see, the Pursuit of Holiness. That will be a sermon, even though it's only just assigned to resources. We will look in there, and let's see something that is common to all of, look for something that's common to all of the sermon files, or many of them. And we see right up here at the top is a tag right here, squiggle bracket. I forget what those are called. I know we learned it a while ago. Squiggle bracket, MP3, squiggle bracket, and then you have the file, the folder, and then the file name of the MP3 that plays the recording of this sermon. In this particular plugin, you don't have .mp3 there. And then squiggle bracket / MP3, squiggle bracket. So, curly bracket, thank you, Chuck. Man, I was up late, and I knew that one does not come to me very quickly, even when I'm awake. Yes, curly bracket. So we see here in this article, in this sermon, there is an MP3 tag for copying. For insert. I'm just going to copy there. For inserting a sermon recording so that it can be played. In fact, if we go up and view this article in the front, here we go, and there is the player that shows up right there.
We've been working our way through 1 Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, talking about essentially principles of discipleship, kind of realizing that probably...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My friend Spence, that's an interesting way to start out the sermon, with a sound check. Anyway, so what we want to do next then is we will go into DB Replacer, and we want to, let me just set back. We want to put a filter in here that says where something has the curly bracket, MP3 curly bracket, then search, and if you see 52, category 52, switch with 35. Now, I have over here, I have already talked to Peter Van Westen from Regular Labs, and I said, I need a filter that will do this, just because that was easier to do while I was talking to him. And here we go. I'm going to paste that in there, and we'll talk about what it does. All right. We will, and then I'll zoom in a bit. So we have this filter here. Okay, where the category ID equals 52, and the intro text contains something that has MP3 something. All right, so MP3 in it. Go ahead and replace category 52 with 35. All right. Now we still, even though it's only going to look in articles that have category ID equals 52, it still needs to search that column for 52 and replace it, because we're basically doing find and replace. What this filter does up here is it restricts where it's going to actually do this replacing. Now, so I'll hit Control-0 to go out. Now we see we have 181 rows found there. Now I'm going to do the search with this filter. And there's 177 rows. Now, at this point, keeping track of the number, someone might say, well, why don't you just move them all and uncheck that? And you could do that. But here's the deal. This is my client site, and I don't really know all of the articles that they have. If it was my site, I might be able to easily just do that. And so this is a safer way for me to go in and help them by cleaning up cleaning up this organizational situation. So what we will do next is we will just hit replace, and it says up here, are you sure? Yes. And then it says, are you really sure? Because this will replace stuff in your database and can potentially break the site. Only go ahead if you know what you're doing. And of course, only go ahead if you have an accurate or a good backup for your site. Anyways, we will go OK. And then we're going to have that replace. And then it goes back to selecting intro text and full text if we were going to do this again. Now, so we'll just switch down back to category ID. I'm going to make a little note just to ask Peter about after replacing. I don't know if there's anything he can do about that, but that'd be handy if it still kept searching the same thing. But we can always just select category ID. And now if we go search, of course, everything is being replaced. Why don't we then take out this filter? Well, actually, I know what we can do. Let's go back. We will close this article. Now we're in Article Manager that shows resources only. And here are the 4 articles that should stay or that were missed and left in there. Now, it may very well be that these are files that did not fit with our original filter. So let's take a look at that. Here's a sermon. Yes, here's a sermon, but it does not have any MP3 at the beginning of it. There is no recording. So at this point, you could go over and just add it to sermons, or you could close this because maybe there's others like that. Close that. We'll go back to DB Replacer, and we have our filter there. But what we noticed in that other message there was that they had some text called text : and so let's run the search here. So it's only going to look for articles that are still in 52. And look, it found 2. Overcoming in an Overwhelming World and Lord of the Sabbath. So those, now if we were dealing with thousands of files and it was common that they had text : in that formatting, and they're not going to have that, excuse me, not going to have that in any other resources articles, then you could, again, here do a bulk move, which I will do. Another example is this. Let me just replace this. Okay. Another example of what we could do here, and this is, now that we have everything added to the sermons, let's go resources and sermons, we'll see here that now in this list, who do you love, it's still not showing any of those ones that we just moved. That is because we probably need to clean the cache. So click that clean cache button up there. Of course, you know that's Regular Labs Cache Cleaner. Now let's go back here and refresh. Because replacing the database did not create a save action in Joomla and automatically flush it out. And here we go. Okay, so there's who do you love, this little line of mine, the greatest thing. And then all these other ones, messages here that have only a few number of hits. Whereas before, when we were looking at, we could look at 100 here. The next ones down, basically what was showing were articles that had hundreds of hits, especially the ones that had been sitting at the top of this category view. Now, we'll continue. There's a couple other things that I want to do on the site here. And I'll show you another way to move, because inside these sermons, there are some themed sermons, like Christmas sermons or Easter sermons. And we're going to continue on and switch that. But for those of you that have just tuned in for the live stream, just watching, just to get the whole gist of how to hunt and peck and move those articles that are entangled inside a category with other articles that should stay there, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning into today's live stream. And for your support of this channel. I'm going to continue on and do more things. But if you're leaving at this point, I do thank you. Follow the channel here on Twitch to get notifications when we go live stream. And of course, if you're watching on watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and like this video, share it with your Joomla friends. Also ring that bell so you get notifications of new live streams. So if you're heading out now, enjoy your Joomla sites and God bless. And for those of you that are sticking around, let's do a little bit more, because what I want to do is this. You see up here, and then we'll just, in fact, here, let me get the Zoom link happening here too. Where do I have that? For anyone that wants to come on and talk with your voice. I'm not sure else what you would talk with, unless, of course, you're a certain kind of politician, in which case you could talk with something else. But come on onto Zoom and we'll talk and hang out. All right, so so up at resources, notice we had sermons and then Christmas sermons. So I'm going to click on that. They should have some very recent ones. Oh, okay. And, oh, look at that. We have a couple of files that still have audio in them. So here's what happened with this. A while ago, the audio player plugin that I was using was Flash based, and it was not working well. And then when I updated this site to PHP 7.2 to their hosting account, that old audio player broke. And so actually what we've got is a situation where these tags do not replace. I did not replace these or fix them, because the new format, as you saw before, is MP3 in curly brackets and then /MP3 in curly brackets at the end, and there is no MP3. So we could fix that too. What I want to do, and see, they have 4 messages here for Christmas. So what I'm going to do is this. First of all, let's go back to categories and let's find their resources that are Christmas. And you know what? That's very interesting, because they do not have a category that's called Christmas. And this is where the fun of Watch Me Work live stream comes in, because we're just going to work on this site and hang out together while we get ready to do this switch. But let me just finish that thought. Let's go to categories. Oh, I can't finish it because there is no category for Christmas. Let's see. So let's see how, oh, this is a tag. Oh, that's why this looks different. These are tagged for, okay. These are messages that are tagged with the tag Christmas in them. Watch, let's click on that. Where did the tag show up at the end? Yes, Christmas sermons. And that's why those are showing up that way. I thought this was a category view, but it is not. All right. Well, why don't we create that category? Because I would like to put these sermons into a Christmas sermons view, And how will I do that for them? Sermons, Christmas sermons. That's showing tagged, but it's not really the optimum way that I would want to see that there. So, what will we do? All right, let's do this. First of all, we're going to create a new category called Christmas. Christmas. And what do they have the menu? What did they want to name it? Sermons, Christmas sermons. All right, so we'll name it Christmas sermons. And let's see. We hope you can join us for one of our Christmas services. But if you, but in the meantime, we invite you to listen to these Christmas sermons. these sermons, sermons from Christmas at our church. All right. Now, we're creating this Christmas sermons category, and we have, we will give it the parent sermons. All right, so we'll make it a subcategory of sermons, and we will save and close that. Now, as soon as we save and close that, we're going to write down what the ID is over here. It's 97. So I changed that in my notes. And then we will go back to our sermons. Now, the sermons category is 35. All right. Remember that from the switching that we just did. In fact, if we clear that, here we have resources, which is 52. We've just moved any files that have the MP3 tag into sermons. And then there's 35. Okay. I'm just going to jot another note for a search that we need to do in a second. All right. Now, so we've got sermons. We're going to look in these 411 sermons, and we're going to look for some keywords, and then we are going to move any sermon articles that have those keywords into the Christmas sermons category. All right, so let's go back to our DB replacer. And for those of you that have just tuned in, because I see the watch time count going up and down, we have this filter here, and we're going to look in all of the articles that are assigned to category 35, and that is the sermons category. And in the intro text, we're going to search for anything that has Christmas inside. All right. If it has the word Christmas inside the sermon passage in the article, then what we want to do is we want to look inside category ID, and we'll switch that there. We want to change the category ID from 35, which is just the sermons category, and we're now going to move it to the subcategory of sermons, which itself is a subcategory, and assign it the category of the category ID of the new category that we just created. So let's search. We know we had at least over here 411 articles in sermons. But when we look at this search here, we see that there are 27. There are 27 that have the word Christmas in them. And here they are. So that means we can then move those 27 sermons that have the word Christmas in them over to that new category. So why don't we do that? Replace. And yes. So now those are moved. Now we could just ask ourselves, Christmas is in there. I wonder if there's any sermons left that have the word manger in them but don't have Christmas. I mean, because right now, if we do another search, all the articles that had Christmas were moved to the Christmas sermon subcategory. So let's go search. I don't think we're going to find any because Christmas is just so prevalent word in those articles. All right, so let's just do one more. Advent. Anywhere that Advent is said? No, there's none. So we've moved Christmas over. So that's pretty good. So let's go back to our article manager here. And we will then see, remember we were filtering, we were only seeing resources. You know what, here's one last sermon that should just go over, obviously. So I'm just going to batch move that right now. Batch. We're going to move it to sermons, and we're going to move it, not copy. Copy would make another version of it somewhere. Another instance of it. Uh-oh, changed manager to manger. Did I do that? Oh my goodness. Wow, thanks Chuck. M-A-N-G-E-R. Manger. All right, that's search. I don't think it's going to be there, but oh, there is 3. Look at that. Wow. Now the great, look, let me show you a great thing about when you get doing finding, replacing, and DB replacer. Here we see in the intro text, there's something here that shows W:LSD exception locked. LSD is probably referring to something different than the hallucinogenic drug. But obviously there's some code from pasting into this message here that if we go the miracle of the ages, so we see the title right there, we can take a look back at that in a second. So we're really becoming, let's see, miracle of the ages. We are really becoming this is really a Watch My Work live stream today, because I'll go back and we'll look at that. I had no breakfast, so I'm going to eat cheese with you guys. All right. We have 3 that have manger in them. Now, I can also look at the created time over here and see that this message is actually from December 30th, 2009. And there's December 27th, 2010. And then here is December 23rd. So interesting. These are both sermons after Christmas, but probably close. Well, who knows? Or that where manger has been mentioned. So you know what? I'm going to move these anyways. Oh, and look at that. This is this is searching an intro text as well. I forgot to change that back to category ID. Exactly. Another note. That's at 32 minutes. I'm going to show Peter that and see what happens. Let's do this search again. I'm glad I caught that. And see, that's why you do a backup of your site. Because had I done find and replace on those 3 thinking I was moving, I would have actually replaced the number 35 with 97 in there. All right, so here we go. Now we see that there are 8 that are found. Let's look. We don't want to move this one because it's from October. That one's from March. Miracle of the Ages. And then we've got, there's one from the 27th. This one here is faded. This is very faded. I realize you're probably not able to see this. There's October, there's November, September, and there's one from 2018. December 23rd. And these are all in the article, just in sermon, so they haven't been moved over. They have manger. So what I need to do is move these 3. Now, listen, if I was really great at figuring out these filters, intro text like manger, and let's say, and I'm going to try this filter on myself here, and created is like, contains in it 12, let's go dash 12 dash. All right, that's just because in created here, well, I wish this wasn't so light. Maybe highlight this. Okay, here we go. In created, and I'll zoom in a bit more. In created here, I'll move this up away from above my head. In created, the date is this format: year, month, and day. So anywhere that it is dash 12 dash, it is only going to be showing a date that it was created in December. All right. We're getting into fiddly stuff here, but like, let's put a quote there, dash 12 dash. But that's what happens when we get doing these little we get sorting out these little things. You do the bulk stuff, and the other stuff is just comes along later. So we have 8 there. That's search. Hey, I did it right. Wow. Deserve a piece of cheese for that. All right, so now what we're seeing here is it's searching articles that are category 35, which we know is the sermons one. Intro text contains the word manger, and created contains -12 dash right there. These dates right here. So what we can then do here is I go Control 0, put this back, and we will go replace. And yes, we are sure. Man, I'm never happy that that worked. I really struggle with coming up with these codes, but it certainly is sinking in the more and more that I get shown it. And and if you're interested in more of that, we'll try to do more as I learn it. Okay, so now we have a bunch of sermons. Let's go back here. Let's look in articles. We'll close out that category. We will go Christmas sermons. They don't have a lot of articles assigned to categories I see there. All right. Christmas sermons. Now we have 27. At least we had 27. We just added 3 more, so we probably have about 30. Next that we need to do then is change this link here where it says sermons, Christmas sermons, to show, however, let's show it consistently with how they show sermons, which is a list view and showing hits. I'm going to cheat, and just to make sure it's all looking the same, I go to menus, main menu, and let's go to, there's sermons there. I'm going to go into here, category list view. All right, so right now that menu type is tags. I'm going to select that and change it. We'll go to articles. We will go to category list. And we have we will select the category, which is sermons. Now, and then we will save. There's a good chance that this is not going to change because I'm doing a big because of that. Let's go up to the menu, sermons and Christmas sermons, because I use SH404 SEF, and so I've just created another instance of this link, Christmas sermons, but it's going to actually do this new layout as an alias to this main one. So that's something else that we can look at, and this is not always something I'm super confident at either, but let's open up SH404 SEF in a new tab. Don't worry about that. It says Google Analytics is not properly configured. Yeah, that's right. I haven't configured it. I don't look in here right now for that. But we can go to the SEF URLs. And basically what SH404 SEF does is it creates search engine friendly URLs for all of your different Joomla content. For instance, here we have the non-SEF URL. Let me just zoom into there for the article about us, or for the link about us. So if you go to this site and click on and go /about-us, you will see this non-SEF URL right here. And indeed, if this were to be put into the site, let's copy that. And we'll go up to the URL up at the top, take off that subcategory. If I put in that index.php, that the non-SEF URL, and hit enter, we will see, I'll make this page slow again, see that there are no articles in this category. So there is actually an About Us category, and it maybe is, but they do have subcategories within it. All right, so this is probably a case where over here, about us, okay, in the top right here, we see they have this set up about us, and then they have other subcategories. So they just have no articles assigned to that. All right. Anyway, so that's how SH404 SEF works. Now, because I changed this link, Resources, Sermons, Christmas, because I changed that from being to display tags from a certain tag, articles from a certain tag, to a category, there's an alias for this. So what I want to go up here is look for, see there it says sermons / Christmas sermons. We go into SH404 SEF. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Of course, we're just hanging out, working together too. And we go with sermons / Christmas. We don't have to even do Christmas - sermons because we're just looking for URLs that have this. Excuse me. And that's search. All right, so here we have, here is the resources, sermons, Christmas sermons. And that's what the URL is, the page that we're just looking at. And you'll see it's non-SEF URL is for option equals com_tags, right? So we don't want that now. So we have a couple choices that we can do here. All right. First of all, we could just select here and delete this URL with its duplicates, and a new URL will be created in time as soon as we probably refresh, or an article is called from that category. We can refresh that URL and it'll be proper. But here's the thing. If this non-SEF URL exists somewhere in a search engine or a hard-coded link on someone's web page that's off-site, if they click on this and we wipe this out, if they click on a link or try to find this page, they're going to get a 404. So what we want to do in this case is go into duplicates, and we see there's a 1 there. We see right now, oh, and look at that. There's the com tags. It's still, I was expecting to see something down here that said the layout for the category view that we just did. They actually have 2 tag things here. All right, so we could create an alias for this URL. Now we're getting experimental. Things are going really well, so I don't want to get too far carried away here and end up feeling frustrated that I got lost during the live stream. But I'm just going to play around here. If you have experience with this, go ahead and fire it into the chat there. We can create an alias for resources, sermons, Christmas sermons. Let's try that. Let's see if there is one. What do we have for Christmas here? Nothing. All right. You know what? I am not sure. I'm not sure what I want to do here. I don't want to create an alias because they're really... Oh, all right, let's try this. Let's go back to our menu item. Oh, look at this. Okay. This link here that we just created, we have the non-friendly SEF URL. That's what we want to open up when someone goes to resources, sermons, Christmas sermons. We don't want to see the tag view. We want to see this view. And in order to see that in the URL, we need to get an option. Let's go back here. We need to have an option in here where there we can switch the main URL to be this tags one. All right, so let's cancel that. I wonder what source does. Oh, I've never clicked here. No data for this request. All right. Cannot go. Do. There's so much stuff here that we can do for these pages. All right, I'm going to cut my losses at this point, and I'm going to do this. Here's this SEF URL for that. I'm going to select it. I'm going to delete with duplicates. I'm going to say yes. All right, so I just deleted that URL. So there is now no URL for resources, sermons, Christmas sermons. In fact, if I hit enter here, I think it won't show up. Oh, it will, because I haven't cleaned the cache. Let's see. Now I'm trying to break this. That looks better. Oops, can't find that page because that has been deleted. To recreate it, all I need to do is go, I think, go to resources, sermons, and Christmas sermons. And now, wow, that's big. What have we got here? Oh, and now we only have one thing showing. That's not what we wanted either. Huh. Alrighty. I noticed the URL up here is now just Christmas sermons as well. Which is probably what's because we named this here Christmas sermons. So in SH404 SEL, let's go CHRIST miss sermons. And here's the one we just created, Christmas sermons, and it has two aliases. One is showing this particular view, showing a content item, and this is set up for showing item 604. Why don't we just change the main? Let's see what happens there. I'm going to clean the cache. And when that refreshes, I'm hoping the list comes up. Oh, okay. Alrighty. So there already was a URL inside the site that was named Christmas Sermons. And when it was first created, this is the non-SEF, no, sorry, this one, because we changed it, is the non-SEF URL that it pointed to. So when we created this new view and the link was called Christmas Sermons, it created another instance, another non-SEF URL, but you can only have one SEF URL named Christmas Sermons, and so it joins them all together and just treats it as an alias or a duplicate, and you pick which one that you want to show. Alrighty, that's what was happening there. Excellent. So now we have Christmas sermons here. We have a list of them in the list view for the category, and we can go and we can click on that, and there we go. That's working, and their audio file is there. Okay, so we're making progress here, fixing up a few things as we came along. I think we're probably done with DB replacer here, because we there's really nothing less. Although, you know what? I wonder if we have anywhere in the sermons call that has Easter, E-A-S-T-E-R. Let's see. In fact, but of course there wouldn't be many mentions of Easter in the month of December. So let's search here. And we'll go to category ID. Let's search. Oh, 29 instances of Easter. Okay, so And let's check out the dates for the Easter sermons here. Where it's mentioned there's May, that would be a very late. There's July, September. All right, so Easter gets mentioned quite a bit throughout the year. So that's going to be a little bit more challenging to move over. I guess that might be a good manual job. Because, and in fact, especially since Easter moves around, if you've got Easter happening very early in the year, say, I think it's like March, or it can happen late. I don't know if it happens in May, but yeah, so we're not going to tackle that right now. Okay. Because I think we could move Easter sermons into the, we could move Easter sermons into a category just like we did with Christmas. All right, well, let's bail on this particular re-replacer instance. But remember, a while ago, we saw that there was a problem in one of the articles that had, and I'm just going to delete this filter, that had the squiggle bracket audio, the old audio tag before switching over to a different plugin that plays off of MP3. So why don't we search for, oh, and I have to select, now see that, I found no results because I was searching in category ID. Let's search intro text or, hey, you know what? I got this goofy thing. When I hit control, the center scroll thing on my mouse comes on. And that's not what I want. So I can right now only select things that are right next by using the shift, because shift works. All right, let's search here. It is not found, but we know that it is in there because we actually saw it. Audio. Search. 18 rows. Now let's see where it shows up. Oh, here's an interesting situation. Let's see, because it's showing HTML audio. Huh. All right. Now we're going to do something. We're going to look for we're going to go, remember we have 4 sermons, Christmas sermons that are tagged with the Christmas sermons tag. And that was the old view that we were looking at. So if we were to look, okay, so we will close out of this menu item here because we've saved that. And now I'm going to go back to the content and articles. And I'm going to search, I'm going to clear this search here. I'm going to then open a new one, and I'm looking for tags that are sermon tags, Christmas sermons. And there's the 3 that would show up. And so let's click on misunderstood gift and see what we have here. Now there is no audio there, so that's not one of them. Maybe it was Miracle of the 8. No, okay, so let's try this one. And that has MP3 at the beginning of it. So it's not that. Let's go, but this one, Impossible Promises. Please have audio in it. Oh my goodness. All right, but what I am going to do is open this up, Misunderstood Gift. I'm going to preview that page, which will give me the Christmas sermons tag. I'll click on that. For unto us the Prince of Peace, Isaiah 9:16. Let's see. For unto us the Prince of Peace, Isaiah 9:16. Oh, I see what's happening here. Even though we have MP3 in the sermons, in this article, in the occurrence of the tag in the database, it's actually still remembering audio. was that? It's still remembering audio. So if we click on that, it will take us to the article which has the proper player. But in this tag view, it's remembering audio. And we can see that. Let's go into that DB replacer. And we don't want to be in the table content anymore. I think we want to go into assets. Let's see. I'm just going to look at tags. I don't think it's going to be in tags. Let's search in tags for the word audio. It's found in 4 rows. But these are just different tags. Christmas sermons, Old Testament series. These are only in the tags themselves. So I believe we can go to assets. It might be where it is. Assets. There we go. Let's search for, in fact, let's do the squiggle bracket and search. And it seems to have found it in many places, it thinks. No, it's looking for... Oh, apparently squiggle bracket must be a thing. No. Because it's finding everywhere where there's squiggle brackets. Of course, assets might not be the thing. Anyways, let's try this. See what's happening here. No, the word audio is in there as well. Maybe that has something to do with the... All right. Well, do we leave that as a mystery? Do we look into it? Because basically what is happening here, somehow the instances of the tags here is... which we'll show you down here, where the Christmas sermons tag in this case shows up, it is still remembering somehow the text somewhere. It has not updated together with the message. I am sure there's someone who knows better than me what is going on here and how to fix it. So what I'm going to do is go full screen right here. I'm going to go in the web hosting for this. All right. Yeah. I'm hurting Vinny's OCD by calling them in curly brackets. Have you come on since Chuck told me that they are curly brackets and reminded me? Have you been lurking that long, Vinny? Yep. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Root for me to find success in this. Root for me silently as you lurk. Here we go. I am going to go into the web hosting control panel for this account and list, because I have seen this before where these have gotten out of sync somehow. And let me just bring this up here. Faith Community Church. I don't want this one to be seen on screen. I'm going to go into... I think at this point it's safe to switch over to full screen with me in the corner. Okay, so here I am in the control panel for that hosting account. I'm going to scroll down to databases and go to phpMyAdmin. In phpMyAdmin, I'm going to go to view. A lot of things happening on my computer right now. I actually have a hard drive that's filled right up from videos, which I forgot all about. Well, I just slowly end up producing so many videos, the storage fills up. Right, so Here's the database. What do I want to search for here? I want to search for tags that have curly brackets, curly braces. I think someone calls them curly braces. That has audio in it. Let's find the example here. Okay. So in this database, I'm going to search for curly bracket, AUDIO, curly bracket. Okay. And I'm going to search everywhere because I'm just lazy to hunt and peck the tables. I want to see where this shows up. So we can scroll down here and we will look for results somewhere. And here we go, results. Okay, UCM content. When I click on this browse, okay, they can be called braces as well. Well, if they can be called braces, then I'm going to call them curly suspenders. That works for me. How's that for your OCD? And here we see right here that here are the tags of the instances. So there's for unto us the Prince of Peace. That's the core title. And the core body here is audio. I do not know why this happens or how this happens. Vinny, you hate me for curly suspenders. Well, think about it, because they are curly suspenders, because they take the tag and they suspend it there in your content so that when someone comes along and thinks, hey, what do we need to do here? Oh, there's the suspenders that see what they do. So somehow this has gotten out of sync. I don't know how this happens. I don't understand how this works. I also know some Joomla people that hate tags for the way that they actually function in the back end and the coding. But you know what? I'm a lover, not a fighter. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. So we're in the table FCC UCM content. All right, so let's go back to DB replacer. Let's go to, first of all, select the table FCC. Late, I can't remember the name of it. It's UCM content. All right, there's no FCC at the beginning of it. In this UCM. There we go. Wow, that's why it's jumping so much here. UCM content. All right. We are going to search for curly suspender, audio curly suspender. And we're going to replace that with curly braces MP3 curly braces. And listen, I know there's probably a crazy regex way to do this, but I'm not up to par on that. And so you get the dumb guy version today. So let's search. It's found in 13 places. Excellent. Now, I just want to point out that in this old audio player, the tag was audio, and then you'd have images sermons 2004, and then audio file name, and then /audio. But actually, in the new version, it is MP3 sermons, and then 2014, 12, 14. And as you will see here, there's images inside of sermons. So if I go ahead and replace, just where audio is found, these links are not going to work because they haven't, the path code that's accepted is different. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm just going to search for audio and images /, right? This here. Because as we saw before, we don't want the / in front of sermons there. All right, so DB replacer. So we're going to search for audio, the audio tag images / and just simply replace with the MP3. We'll search that. It'll still find it in 13 rows. And then I'm just going to replace that. Whoops. Where am I? And in what body am I search? Oh boy. Let's go back to here. That was in the core. No, that was in core body. All right, because here's a case where, oh, too many tabs open. Okay, here's a case where I need to select core body right here and tell it to search in those columns. It'll search all of them here and find them, but it's not going to do the replacing in all of them. I don't think so, and I don't think we really want that. Could be wrong though. So search. There we go. Oh, it found it in 11. Oh, there you go. That's maybe why we don't want to switch it in the other ones. All right, let's just leave it in the control here. So audio / audio tag images / that's replace. All right, I'm sure. And that gets replaced. Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to fix the ending here. And I know, as we see here in the old format, it's the file name, but you don't have .mp3. So you just have this ending code. You just have this ending code, and you get rid of the mp3 and the dot part. So let's copy that. And let's go into there, and we will replace anywhere that .mp3 curly bracket / audio curly bracket is. And now we just want to replace it simply with the curly bracket MP3 tag. Let's search. Should be about 13. There you go. There we are. And we're still, we're still not selected up here. So we want to go core body. Now we'll search. Maybe it makes no difference if that's selected. Oh, no, down to 11. All right, let's just stick with it. All right. Let's replace those. Okay. Okay. Now, if we clean the cache and go back to this tags here, we can refresh, and we should have some audio playage there. Oh, okay. It is. Oh, no. Womp womp. I forgot to put the slash. Oh, and that's why you do backups. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. The closing slash. Yeah, don't forget the closing slash. I see that, Chuck. All right, so at this point, I can think of a really easy, fast way in my mind to fix this. It's not elegant, but I'm going to do it just the same. I'm going to search for anywhere where there is a number. And I bet you there's a regex that could be used in here. Can't I do what I did in reverse? No, because here's the case. I now have a number and squiggle bracket MP3 squiggle bracket. So curly bracket MP3 curly bracket. So now the next search and replace is I need to find anywhere that has has a number and then a curly brace MP3. Yeah, and I can look. Yeah, I can look for MP3 at the closing. Yes, if Peter were there, he would use a regex and use %1. He would. I don't know. I mean, we can just Can't I now search for MP3/N? John, let's see. I could search for, let's see, curly brace MP3. That's, yeah, Mark, that's exactly what I was going to do. Do 10 replacements. 1 and then MP3, 2. You're exactly right. Because I'm sure there's a regex where it would be find any number. Let me just try John's suggestion here, just while we're here. Find any number that has, or find any one number that has MP3 at the after, and then change it and replace it. But okay, let's just try John's here, see what happens. We're going to go / and N. Let's search. Oh, John. Core, core body, search. No, it's not found in there. It does find it somewhere. But I'm going to do what you suggest there, Mark, which is look for 1 MP3 and replace it with 1 /MP3. Let's search. So there's 2 that end in a 1. All right, so yeah, so basically what the regex would be here is I need to find something that any number here. Something that is any number. But yeah, for a quick sense here, since not sure how we could do that, we could sort of try here. I mean, at this point, we're so deep in the woods and we're all offering up suggestions. Let's figure it out together. What would the regex expression be, or a filter? Look for, no, yeah, because I can't replace just MP3 because that'll do the opening tag. The regular expression, what would a regular expression be that look for any number MP3 and replace it with the same number? All right, yes, I think you're on to it there, John. All right, so let's first of all, I'm going to copy John's here, give this a try. So we're going to search for 0 to 9 and search. Hey, it found 11. There you go, John. Good one. Now, so in that case, now we need to replace it with the first thing that it finds there, and that is a string. Oh boy, I'm close. That one almost comes to me. It is a 1. Is it? I don't think it's that. Yeah, I think I do need to replace the number, Vinny, because if I don't replace the number, if I find any number MP3, then I have to replace it with the same number and then MP3. Otherwise, I break the name of the file. Because what we're doing here is replacing 4 MP3 with 4 /MP3. So we're close to it though, Noah, and I know yeah, I need to yes, let's see here. No, I need to, yeah, so I've got that there. I need to replace, all right, so I need to replace I need to find number and then MP3 and replace it with the same number that is found up here with MP3. And I know that there's somewhere in the regex for when what you have found, it becomes a character, and it becomes the first thing that you find. Because remember, you could tell it to just ignore and not count that. A regex to stop after the number and enter the bracket. Yeah, we will. Yeah, so let's see. Let's sort this out here. I have another regex that was kicking around here. Oh, it's maybe it is this. Let's try /1. Let's search that. Oh, look, yeah, look at that. No. See, because down here it shows that it will find for MP3 and replace it simply with MP3. So I need to find out what it is that what it is that will see this for and will replace it with that string there. /1. Brackets define the capture group. So that's right. So I think that goes there, right? And then /1. If I check my example here that I'm looking at on my other screen, yes. So let's search that. There we go. Thanks. You're right, John. Excellent. So what we're looking for is any number that has MP3, this, well, curly brace, MP3 curly brace, and replace it with whatever that number is that you found with the closing tag. And so what we end up here when we preview here is, so it sees for curly brace MP3 and replaces with for curly brace /MP3. And here it sees a 7, replaces with a 7. And 6 and 6 and all right, woohoo! So why don't let's do this. Let's replace this. Yes. I mean, what could go wrong, right? I'll make sure I've got the right thing selected here. Let's replace and go okay. Yes. Let's clean the cache. Let's go to the tags here. Hopefully this is going to work now. I don't know if it'll work with them all on so many. There we go.
So this morning I want...
Yeah, that one's working. Is this a different one?
3 Sundays to Christmas.
All right. And the other 2 messages don't have audio recordings there. Excellent. All right. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, Mark, your solution would have worked, and that's probably what I would have done working here by myself. Just done that 10 times and moved on with it. But knowing that the regex is there, and I think Peter would be very, very pleased that we'd figured that out. I might not be pleased with how slow it took me, but thank you, everybody. Yeah, the brackets define the capture group. Because remember, there's also a way where you can say you can create a capture group, but don't remember it. And, okay. Now, remember, though, back here in the database, we saw that not only was that happening in content, but it was also happening in history. That what we searched for, that squiggle bracket audio, was also in history. So why don't we just take a quick look. We can go here to body history. Well, that was a different table. History. And where was that showing up in PHP? Let's go browse. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, this is version data. Oh, this is in the version data. Okay. That's something to consider as well, because if you were to restore an old version of an article, you would have the broken version there. I wonder if it shows in version data here. It does. Look at that. Or does it? Oh, this is okay. So, well, let's just open this up. There's the whole in version data. There's the whole article. So that's something to consider too. I hadn't even thought about that. You could go back to an old version of something and you would end up with the broken version with the old tag. So that's easy to fix too. So we go into DB. It's easy to fix. Easier for me to say. We go into version. Okay, so here we are in the table UCM history in version data. First of all, we're going to search for curly brace audio curly brace / images / remember, and with that we're going to replace it with a curly brace MP3. Let's search. Not found. I think the problem is that first slash there. No. Let's look right in here. I'm going to go Control A, copy that. I'm going to go into Notepad. I'm going to open up a new tab. I'm going to paste that there. I'll drag that over for us to see. I'm going to go Control 0, make this the normal size. I'm going to edit. I'm going to search. I'm going to find. I'm going to find AUDIO. Find the next one. Wow. This has, look at this here. Audio, images, / sermons /. So I actually want to replace this. So there's something in order to hang on to the / or the / without losing it. All right. The things we learn when we get into this stuff, eh? All right, so we're going to look for audio, images / / Let's search there. Ah. Oh, I still have regular expression on. The womp womp. Now it's doing a big search. There we go. So it still would not have come up. Oh, in fact, we probably would have really messed things up. That was fortunate. I mean, we're just looking at versions, and I don't know that the client's going to go back to an old version of an article in 2014 anyways. But look what would have happened if I had accidentally if I had turned regular expression off and looked for audio. I'm going to Notepad here, and looked for audio, images, / it still wouldn't have shown up because we've got the / here. Yes, all right, so I wouldn't have accidentally done it. Anyway, so long and short of it here is we have 535 rows of where the old audio tag is. So I'm going to replace audio, images, / simply with MP3, because I can start out this URL or the path without a /, and that's going to leave this part here. Great. All right, we'll be back to that for sure in a second. So double checking audio, images, / / replace with MP3. All right, let's go replace. 535 rows we are going to break. All right, spinning away. The hamsters are back there sorting everything out. Okay. Now the next thing that we want to do, and this works so well just selecting, and so that we don't mistype like someone did on the last search. Now we want to remove .mp3 curly brace / audio curly brace. All right. Now we're going to do that, and they're going to replace with the / MP3 or /MP3. That is correct. Just to double check, .mp3, I want to take that off the end. Anywhere that .mp3 and then this occurs, squiggle bracket or curly brace, that I'm going to replace that, and I just want MP3 in there. Okay. That is correct. So let's search. Oh, look at that. We don't have version data search. And there's 534 rows. Click replace and replace. And we'll say OK. Now, once that's done, it will not find any more. You know, another thing too is that instead of doing a full Joomla backup when you're working on stuff like this, if you're doing something in one particular table, so for instance, this was UCM history, you could actually just go to the table itself and export a backup of it. Exporting rows, and basically you just do it quick. You can display all the possibilities, but you're just going to export the whole table. You go and you download it, because then if you mess up in one particular find and replace, you don't have to restore the whole site or the whole database. You basically just need to, I won't bother saving this. You then basically just need to go into the into that table. So FCC UCM history is what you would do. View them all. FCC UCM history. What I would do in that case is I would, you could drop the entire table and then import your backup, or you could actually empty the table and you could still import it, probably because the export would say if it already exists, don't create it, and then put these things in. You either want it dropped or empty. The one caveat being, so you have to know your hosting, because I have had it before, been working on another host where the file is huge. Like for instance, let's see the size here. This is a big database that myjoomla.com does, and their audits and that. So it's 20 megabytes, 22,000 rows. Some hosts can't handle an import that long or that size. I have my server set up for that. In which case you'd have to open up your backup, the SQL file, like the export, and then copy and paste in chunks appropriately to put it back in. Anyway, so that's something that you could do there. All right, so if we refresh, so we've just fixed all the versioning there, which is probably not necessary, but it's very interesting to see that that's where you need to do it. All right, so I mean, ultimately, I guess there is a way that you can go into phpMyAdmin or write in SQL in your SQL tool, whatever you're using, and you could say just look for audio, squiggle curly bracket, audio, curly bracket, and replace it with MP3 throughout your whole database. But that is like, oh my goodness, that's like getting in a rocket and pushing a button, because who knows where that code could be and other things. So, all right, well, there's still another thing I want to do then. I'm going to close this so that I don't wreck whatever changes we made there. I am going to now, here are everything that's added to Christmas sermons. Oh, these three are Christmas sermons that have tags. In fact, these two are still just in sermons. Interesting. Why is, let's see, that's December. Very interesting. I'm going to just quickly do this. I'm going to batch these over to Christmas sermons. And just going to copy them over, or move them over. Hey, one of the things, just to talk about this too, about SH404 SEF, by moving these messages, they're still going to have the old URL. Their URL is not going to be sermons, resources sermons, Christmas sermons. They're going to be resources sermons like they always have been. And you can go into SH404 SEF and you could search for all of the URLs that, and just wipe out all of the URLs that point to just resources. I would not do that in this case, because that will, when they're recreated, they won't exist anymore. And everywhere that the search engine, everyone are linking to those, it will become broken. And you can, in SH404 SEF, go in and you can fix and redirect broken URLs. But in this case, you can have hundreds of them. So I would just live with the fact that the SEF URL is going to remain not having Christmas sermons in them. And that's just the way that it is. I mean, I like things tidy, but then that's just, remember one of my New Year's resolutions, get over myself. Sometimes you just create more work that you don't need to do. Like, for instance, we changed versioning, but updated the tags in the different versions. We didn't really need to do that, but it was fun to figure out and see how it works. But I'm not going to delete all these URLs and have them recreate it, because I don't want to break them. Let them, if they just show up to resources/sermons, that's fine. But what I am going to do is this. I'm going to clear this tag search here, because we only have 3 sermons that are assigned to the Christmas sermons tag. I'm going to go back to the search here. I'm going to go category. I'm looking for Christmas sermons only. Going to give us probably about 30, right? 30. Let's see. Let's go with show 15 to a page. Do a quick count here. We've got 15 there. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I thought we had about 27. Okay, Mary, you say you can set it to automatically redirect to the best guess. Cool. Mary, will you tell me where that setting is? Because I don't know that one. And maybe we'll experiment with it on this site here. Best guess can be dangerous, but in this case, it's going to be, because the URL is going to have the title in it, and that title is going to be very different. We could see, and it will still relearn it. Cool. That's maybe something else that we can check out. Anyway, so here are all these sermons. I'm going to just go back and view them all at once. So we have about 27 or 28. I mean, in any case, you're going to have to go through and tidy up some of these things that go goofy sometimes. So for instance, here, this Pentecost, this sermon here that says it's Alias is Pentecost is from March, January, February, March, April 14th. So there's somewhere the word Christmas appears in the sermon, but it's not a Christmas sermon. So I should actually just quickly go in there and take that one out. I know that I just know that from preaching. So that's actually a sermon. Okay. I mean, you know what you know with some clients and others you don't. In fact, here's one from June, probably. So here, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm going to select that. I'm going to go down these dates and look for, there's Christmas was mentioned in an August sermon there. That's not going to be right. It looks like that's the only two that are there. So I selected those two. I'm going to batch move them back into the sermons category. And then we will go like that. Okay, so next I'm going to select all of these, assuming that these are Christmas sermons now. And I'm going to go up to batch, and I'm going to use this over here, add a tag. I'm going to add it to Christmas sermons tag. Process. And there we go. So now those are all tagged. If we go up to clear the cache and refresh, and then when that refreshes, there we go. Okay, now we ended up into something really peculiar too, because if you don't use read mores in your articles, when you see the tag view, it will. Oh, and this audio file is not working. In the tag view, it shows everything, because it will otherwise start when it shows the read more. Just to show that, let's see, that's beauty and you. Let's search for BEAUTY, and then that's going to come up there. Beauty and you, it's in there twice. Okay. So there's two sermons that have the same title and same URL. So anyways, if we were to put a read more here, save and close, that will automatically dump the cache. Oh, I can't save it because of that other thing. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold this older one, 2013, and I'm going to toss in a 2 at the end. I'm going to save that. Notice this error here, unable to load user with ID 62. We can fix that as well. So I'm going to close that. Now we will go into beauty and you, just the one. And I'm going to make myself a note there, user 62. Okay, so now I'm going to put the read more there. That should save this time. It's very possible that the beauty and you that's showing here in the tag view is not the one that I just fixed. So let's see. Let's refresh, and yeah, wouldn't you know it? No. All right, let's go into the save and close and go to the other beauty and you. And Mary, I see that you've posted that. We will do that next. I want to try that. All right, let's put a read more in there. Save and close. Let's go to the tag view here. And I think that that is going to. I'm sure there's some way to create. There we go. It did. At the read more, it broke it. There's probably another way to do this tag view out. In fact, this would probably be a case where you could maybe make something with articles anywhere, where you would set up the blog view that you wanted based on the tags. So, of course, that's something that could be done. Now, all right, so Mary's got SH404 SEF. Hey, and while I'm in there, I'm going to delete both URLs to beauty and you, because notice this one, I think they would be fighting. So one of these comes up ahead of the other. So I want to fix that they both had this same URL alias. So for instance, so if I type beauty Notice, yeah, so here's Beauty and You, Resources Beauty and You, Sermons Beauty and You, and this one's Christmas Sermons. No, it has no hits because it's there on its own. And if we look in duplicates for down here, Beauty and You, we will see that it was the category ID 342, 53, 342, and also 498. If we go back here, look at over here down the right-hand side here, ID 342 and 498. So basically, when someone went to this URL, sermons/beauty and you, they were sent to the article that was 342. Nobody saw 498 anymore. So when 498, which is the higher ID number, was created, 3 years after the original article here was created, no one ever saw that updated article because Sermons, Beauty, and You always goes to 342. If we wanted that to go to the updated article and to forsake the older version, then you could just make that the main by clicking in here. But what I did before was I created the Beauty and You -2 to allow both to exist at the same time. And so here we go. But what I'm going to do in this particular case is I'm going to delete Sermons, Beauty and You, and I'm going to look. We got another duplicate up here. I don't know what that is. Let's just take a quick look in there. Yeah, it's made a duplicate there of sermons, Christmas sermons as well. So I'm going to just bomb out Resources, Beauty and You. I'm going to wipe these three out, delete with duplicates, delete, and then up here, go back to the articles. I'm going to open this in a new tab because this will force the new URL to be recreated. And we will go Beauty and You. We'll preview that. So there's Beauty and You, the newer version. We'll go into this Beauty and You that's number 2. And we will go to that, and we'll see now. No, I did not go to a -2. That's disappointing. Let's see here. They have their own URLs here, but for some reason both went to there. But this shows no alias. So I'm just going to believe that this worked. There's Beauty and You too that's going to come up there. And what I did was I clicked on just the little preview for that page there. So why this other one did not open up? It may be that this was being cached, the better preview, and it just went to the old link there. Anyways, they will both be there because now when I search for Beauty and, there'll be a 1 here for a hit because it's been viewed once. I've separated those. All right, so you can set automatically SH404 SEF to redirect. So to do that, we go to the control panel in SH404 SEF. Configuration, Mary has this here nicely. Error page. Basic configuration, and try to auto redirect 404s. Look at that. That's awesome. All right, well, let's play around with that. Let's see how that works. We'll save that. And so what we need to do is go into the SEF URLs, and let's look for URLs that are resources / All right, let's see. There's a good one. Resources, beware of religion. Beware of religion, people. I'm all for being aware of religion. So if we were to open up this page here, Oh, this has to be a Christmas one, though. Right? No, that's what we need to do for this test. Okay, so here's a Christmas sermon. Let's go close. Yes, well, I think being aware of it, yes, aware of it is very good too. Beware. Watch out for dangerous stuff. Religion is just rules. Which you would think that, and I know what that message is. The message is that we want relationship with our Creator, not just rules trying to keep Him happy. Christmas sermons. Let's take out beauty up here. And we will go into there. So let's say this misunderstood gift. If we search for SH404 SEF in here, and we go resources / misunderstood. We'll just go misunder. Okay, let's go MISUNDERSD, misunderstood. Must be in there somewhere. Okay. There we go. Resources, the misunderstood gift, which obviously is the same now as Christmas sermons, the misunderstood gift. So let's delete this URL. Oh, and look, here's sermons, the misunderstood gift. Let's delete that too. And there's sermons, the misunderstood gift too. Oh, I guess we must have hit something that's another duplicate as well that I fixed before. So this is maybe a bad example. Sermons, the misunderstood gift. Let's just delete sermons, the misunderstood. Let's view it first. There we go. And let's see, we'll delete that with the duplicates. We will clean the cache. So now with that new setting that Mary's told me about, if I refresh this, it'll either go to the 404 error page or it's going to make a guess. Let's see. Oh my goodness, look at that. That worked. I got a little, oh, look in the bottom, that's cool. It says, and if you read that at the bottom, I don't know if I can, I don't want to try to make it bigger. It says, the page you requested does not exist on our site, so we sent you to this one instead. Oh my goodness. Well, that just made my day, Mary. That is cool. I got to turn that on more sites. That means that if we want, we could delete the URLs for the sermons, and they'll be recreated. They'll be recreated. The ones that we moved out of resources in the sermons, it's going to guess and find it. And oh, that's great. And I like this. We hope to have guessed right. Please don't blame us. We're just computers. Other similar pages are, and that's a great thing too about SH404 SEF. That message is optional too. Great. I bet you that's probably back in the settings then. But why not have that? Because look, the great thing here is that if that's not it, you can go to, the misunderstood gift too, or resources. Oh, and this is where it gets, okay. So now we definitely do want to delete the resources links that we just moved. And now sermons diffusing misunderstanding, that might not be, see, because that's misunderstanding. And sermons the Magnificat, I bet you that's a Christmas sermon. But let's go and delete all the URLs that are resources / because in this case, this page, let's close this. In this case, the articles that only exist in resources by themselves, as it turned out after all of this sorting, showing maximum levels of 1, there's only one assigned to resources, and it's their article about their junior church. So we can actually delete all these articles. In fact, I'm going to open this one for a second, just so we have ready to preview it, because watch this. So now here's our SEF URLs. We can go resources / This is going to be a little bit tricky here, though. Let's open it up. Resources, because if I delete everything in resources, it's going to it will recreate them all. One thing that you have to be careful though is this. I'll show you in SH404 SEF. Is that each URL has a short URL as well. So if you get something really long like this, Bible Study Resources, the theology program, you can actually just take these 3 letters and you can have this as the URL /, so faithcommunitychurch.ca / Control V K6A, and it will go. No, wow, that was not what I was expecting, unless that's where that goes. Let's go back and check this out again. Oh, that's maybe. Let's try this. Oh, these are all okay. We're looking at resources. These are external links, I think. Here's one. Let's try XD3. XD3. Let's do that about this one here. Control V. XD3. There we go. It will take you to, it's just a short URL for every single one, which is really nice because if you are putting out an email or a letter or putting someone's reading and it says go to this link faithcommunitychurch.ca and then a huge thing, that's hard to type in. Type in the URL in X3D or whatever it is and it'll go. And the reason I make that point is that whenever you delete a URL in SH404 SEF, you wipe out this short code. So if you're using these short codes anywhere, you don't want to do what we're considering doing here right now, which is wiping out anything that has resources in it. In this case, I don't know if let's see, what do I do here? Because here, I wonder if you could put regex in this search. I wonder if that accepts that. Or I wonder if it would take resources and then nothing. Because you see, we have a few things. We have Bible study resources. And then Bible study resources. And then other resources, and then we get into resources. But you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to view 100 of these links because we have just a few here that don't start with resources / and then all the rest do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these 100 and I'm going to uncheck the ones that are not just resources / right? Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. And gals, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'm getting some fun work done on this and enjoying this. I will have my lunch in a little while feeling I've accomplished much. So I've unchecked these 7. And I'm just going to delete them with their duplicates. Delete. And so now we will go, it's going to refresh the page. Now there's 200. So I just need to uncheck those first 7 as well. Yeah, thanks, Chuck. Yeah, really enjoying it. I think perhaps I'm also enjoying that we're trying a bunch of stuff and I've just not become so confused that I just want to give up. Okay, those are all resources. So what I did there, I checked right down to the end. This last URL, it's a resource. Great. And so I've unchecked those, delete those with duplicates. And notice a lot of them have duplicates. Like there's one that had 5 because we've been doing a lot of moving. 3. So now we just have to uncheck these 7 again. I've left those in place. All the rest are resources. There's another interesting one. Those are 3 identical ones. but they're to different IDs, 481, 470. So something goofy's happening there. Anyways, always there's no other things to fix on the site. So delete with duplicates those. Now, we've just deleted quite a few pages, and SH404 SEF will not recreate the URLs until a page is called that links to them. So, for instance, if we clean this cache, we go to resources and we go to sermons. What happens is that there you go. Now these are all regenerated, and there will now be a URL in SH404 SEF that is sermons who do you love. This little light of mine. If we go to resources and click on there, you'll see that there's Christmas sermons. There's 22. I put a description in there. They have some other articles there. But you don't see anywhere where there's sermons 390, but they might not necessarily show up. We just looked at that. Anyways, a trick for regenerating all of the URLs that you need is this, is just call your sitemap. So components, I use Sitemap Pro, and then here's the link for the XML sitemap. So I'm just going to copy that whole thing. Just notice something. Look at your view stat number count. Oh, yes. Chuck, where are you talking about? View stat in where? Oh, 666. Yes. So the other thing I noticed too, Bible study resources, the short URL was KKK. You can actually, there's 666 on the channel here, you mean? Yeah, well, that's going to happen. I noticed the KKK up here for Bible study resources. So you might not want to have faithcommunitychurch.ca/KKK either. Well, that's a good catch. Well, we'll have to get those views up past that soon. One more and we'll be good. There is a place in SH404 SEF where you can exclude certain combinations from the short URL. So if you get enough pages, you get up into 4 letters, you might have FU, at C and one other letter, and you don't want your URL being / that. So you can actually go into SH404 SEF and exclude those. But anyway, so back to, I don't know where I was. I'll just do a new one. We copied the URL for the sitemap. Now when I hit enter, it's basically going to tear right through the whole site and look for anything that exists, and it will recreate in SH404 SEF every URL that I want now, or that exists, having deleted all those others. And they should be proper now. So now we can really go and test. Let's see. Here's beauty, and let's test. All I have is Christmas sermons open here. I'll probably remove this this about here. Let's click there and see what happens. Resources, about setting your mind. And that changed to sermons. Oh, and because, look at that, it automatically looked for it. Oh my goodness, that is so great. That is awesome. So we actually did tidy that up. The only question, the thing that you would wonder would be, is this, I wonder if they're creating a 301 redirect telling the search engines, do you know that, Mary? By suggesting this, is this the new one, or is it just loose, or is that what you're sending? I bet you if we go to configuration, or go to control panel, configuration, error page, try to auto direct, message opacity, error 404 error handling, sub template for display. It's hard to say there. Yeah, I don't know either. But the reality is that having wiped out those URLs, you would have a lot of broken ones in search engines, but as they found them, they would lose them. But then you would also have the new URLs that would then get spidered and get picked up. Maybe they would see the redirect on this and say, okay, we'll just use that now. But don't forget, and while we're in here on SH404 SEF, we can go down to 404 requests on the left-hand side here. And here are all of the broken, these are all the URLs that did not work that someone called for. So for instance, some of these are hack attacks. But let's search by hits. So we've got the most at the top. So for instance, oh look at that. Now here's something else I can work on this site. The Favicon or Favicon there is not one for this site. So every time it gets called, it's a broken URL. So we could fix that. Apple Touch icon PNGs. I just need to find those and install them because those are icons that come up, I think, in mobile views. All right. Index.php we just leave because I don't want to redirect that to somewhere. It can mess things up. I'll have to figure out. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out someday. Here's some MP3 files that are broken on the site. And it is possible that I do know this December they had, and this is how I noticed things happening. Oh, no, look at that. 2012. So these are things that you would want to look into. And look, but boy, lots of MP3s. I think these are MP3s that they have removed because of storage space. XMLR PC, I would leave that. Sermons. Vinny says if you bookmark a site on an iPhone, the Apple PNG is the image it will display and the icon. Okay, so that's what's there. Need to fix that. License.php. Lots of MP3s in here. So why don't and these are in images. So why don't we look for let's see. Let's search for / resources. Okay, so there's looking for charts. See, what I'm looking for is just an example of a URL that's not been working for someone. So let's see. Sometimes there's HTML. Okay, so here's an example. aboutus.html. This the last time it was looked for was November 30th. Not a big deal. Only 4 times, but basically you can go in here and select aboutus.html and redirect to a URL. It will guess about which one you want to go to, and I would say About Us. And then you will fix that. Now that's not a big example, but we could also look in here for, what's a common word? Sermons on this site without the images. Boy. In fact, let's just do this. Those are going to stay broken. So images, sermons. Let's find all the URLs that have images, sermons in them. And there is like 100. Or there is like more than 100. So I'm going to just select all of those and I'm going to delete them just to get them out of the way. At least, and we're sorting by the number of hits that we see. So now we're down to 26 hits on these other ones. Let's select the whole column, delete them. Delete. All right. So at least that gets the bulk out of the way. I can now clear this search. And we'll see what's really popular here. We have, and let's get rid of all the ones for PNG, just to get those out of our hair. These are broken. They'll still be broken the next time they're called for, and then you can find them and fix them. For the Favicon, Remember a WP login? I think there's a live stream like a year ago where I showed you about setting up filters to block out these hack attempts from WordPress bots that think, hey, is this actually just a WordPress site? You know, there's not a lot of broken URLs here yet. 4 things. Oh, here's one. Resources, God's birth announcement. Let's go redirect SURL. And there we go. Sermons, God's birth announcement. But you know what? I'm going to bet you that that is a Christmas sermon. So I could redirect that there. Let's go up here and just see that birth announcement. Boo, 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 boo. It is a Christmas sermon. So, no, birth announcement. That might not even be on there anymore. Oh, because I'm searching and I'm filtering by... There you go. God's birth announcement. 1 and 2. And they're both... Oh, look at that. They're both created December the 12th. Sorry, in December. I'm going to say that's a Christmas one. So here, let's do a big batch thing here. First, I'm going to move that to Christmas sermons, and I'm also going to tag it for Christmas sermons in process. If you're working on your own site, of course, you're going to know content. Or if you're working on a site that's in an industry or a topic that you know, you're going to be able to do more stuff for your clients. Otherwise, I would suggest that you might want to just do a general overview. And I mean, I'm doing this for the live stream today, and this is a client that I don't, that's a low budget client. Like, they don't have a lot of money for their website. So, but you can show your clients how to do this and say, go in here and look for broken URLs, and just, you know, your content, you direct them to where you want, where you redirect things to where you think that they should go. Okay, so, but that is, all right, so that's cool. So we've got, I'm not sure how we ended up in there. Okay, there's that. We don't need the database open anymore. We'll close that. Got Christmas sermons there. We did that link. That's pretty cool. Oh, yes. Am I going to redirect them to... Will I make this recorrection go to sermons since it's now a Christmas sermon? I don't think I will. In fact, I'm going to go to SH404 in here. I'll go to URLs. I'm going to search for, instead of typing birth announcement, I'm going to type th-an. Just a little piece. And there you go. God's birth announcement 2. And sermons, there's duplicates there. And we want that to be fixed. So, God's birth announcement. I'm going to open that. And let's go to SH44 SEF. Let's delete all of these with their duplicates. And now here I have this open, God's birth announcement. It is a Christmas sermon. So I will preview that. And now when I go back here, the URL is recreated. Oh, it's right there. And is that what we did? Yeah, 2. The reason I recreate the URLs right away, it's not probably that important right now for this site, because when the sitemap gets called next, it'll be regenerated. Or when, especially, you know, in your articles, if you have next and previous set up, that can help regenerate things as well. Because someone goes to a page and a URL that exists, and the next article is one that we've wiped out the URL for. The next button, when it generates that link, will actually recreate it in SH404 SEF. The other thing too is table views down below page views. The pagination. If you have a list of 10 and then it shows there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages, the URLs that belong to those pagination pages will be regenerated by SH404 SEF. The one thing they just want to watch out for when you're deleting URLs in SH404 SEF is if they're obscure and don't get picked up, they could stay broken links for a long time. So I kind of like to regenerate them right away, which is what I did right there, which means that we can go back to 404 requests and we can find that broken URL down there. Sometimes they just disappear because, you know, if you have a URL that they'll go to, it didn't exist and you fix it, SH404 SEF just gets rid of it. It sees that it's not broken anymore, which is pretty cool too. Let's see, announcement. Okay, resources, God's birth announcement, redirect to SEF URL, and there we go, Christmas sermons. Now we redirect that one. Yeah, SH404 SEF is so powerful and can do so many cool things. Anyways, well, that's a lot of work done on that client site. I'm going to send them this video, their web guy, and show them that, pick some things up there. It's going to be really nice for them too, at least when people click on resources, or is it home? Somewhere, well, here's latest items, that worked. Oh, resources, and that's what it is, sermons. Someone going to look at sermons will, if they're looking for the sermon or the newest article on the site, they now can see it because it's in there. Actually, look at that, sermons, but it's showing subcategories. Oh, okay, it's showing, so you can go to Christmas sermons up here. Yeah. And that, I wonder, that's, these are Christmas sermons. The design of grace, that's the top one, the misunderstood gift. But if I go back here, who do you love? It should be whom do you love. Let's see what the date is on that. Oh, there's only audio on that one. Okay. This little eye of mine, I hope I haven't broken something. Okay. Oh, in fact, I don't know where, they don't have dates on here, which I wonder if they want that added. Anyways, all right. Well, man, that was fun. Thanks, everybody. It is, how far are we into here? 2 hours and 12 minutes into stream. Thank you for your help on the Regex stuff and the ideas. Next Wednesday, John Mulholt in a shortened Watch Me Work live stream, a half an hour, at same time, 1900 UTC, is going to be showing us the latest updates and features of Hodameta. And then after that, I don't have anything booked, but Mark is in here, and I'm going to get back to you, Mark. I have been getting back to people, and then so since you're here, maybe I'll check with you right after. I'll hit you up on Twitter because he has some articles on custom fields, so that could be good. Yeah, a lot of interesting things, people lined up or that I'm contacting. Just invited Antonio from Joomla, because I had some problems with the Joomla site the other night, so I was doing stuff in the support forum, asking him questions, and so I invited him to come on and talk about selling courses online using Joomla and Moodle using Joomla, so that would be interesting. But yeah, I got things tuned up, and but like I said, thanks everybody for today. It was fun hanging out, fun getting that work done, fun getting help, and also noticing some of my Regex brain cells almost reaching out to each other. Please join hands and let's have a solution. But you guys certainly help them to connect, so that's good. I think that is pretty much everything. So yeah, it was great hanging out, spending time together. And we will do it again soon, next Maintenance Monday. Who knows what that topic will be. But in the meantime, have a good rest of your day. Whatever you're working on, I hope you're successful. I hope you're happy. And I hope that you enjoy your Joomla sites. God bless.